Hi guys, welcome back to Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Afi and I'm back again with another video. This video, as you can tell, I have no makeup on, so I'm gonna be doing my makeup and I'm also just gonna be like doing a bit of a chat. If you've been following me and watching all my videos, then you know I didn't do like a proper match recap the way I usually do. And I just realized that like I've sort of been wanting to have like a chat, a real life kind of chat, because the past few months have been so hard and I don't know if I've been like completely honest about it. But even more than that, what happened was have there's a video. I have videos planned, right? It's not that I don't have video ideas. I have videos planned and I have planned them and I'm good. But whenever I come to do them, like something always happens. Like there's always an issue. For example, I had done this. Okay, so basically the past month has been, as I said, just a bit like intense for me, and because of that, when I'm having like an intense time, I like to take a step back away from people even. So what happens is like I stop talking to people. I just, I'm in my head quite a bit, and then after some time, and it's not usually that long, honestly, like maybe one day, after like a day, I'll reach out to someone. So, and most times I don't even talk about what the actual problem is. I'm just like, oh, I was just going through it, and I'm good. So that was happening for most of March, if I'm being honest. And on top of that, I had school, and with school, it all has to be done. Like when there's a deadline, you have to meet it. If like anything, like whatever it is, honestly, you have to meet it. In school, there's no excuse or anything like that. So I decided to sort of like, and then as I was trying to figure out what to do for YouTube, like I was putting out some content, but I just was not feeling it. I don't know. It's sort of like I got to a place where I was like, I'm not too sure what I'm doing anymore. I don't know what the purpose of this is. Yeah, like I just don't know where this is going. I don't know what the point of it is. Like I was having that kind of crisis. And then as I mentioned in another, I think there's another video that I talk about how like I was not like forgiving, and I was being so like, I don't know how to say it, but that video is coming out, so watch out for it. I was just like not having a lot of love in my heart because I was angry, and so that also like was just contributing to it. So there was just so much happening in March, and because of that, when it came to do like the March recap, I was like, I'm not ready to speak about anything. And of course now I'm not necessarily like divulging, is that the word? I'm not really saying exactly what was happening, but and that's because when it comes to, because you see, it's not just me involved. When it comes to stories that like have someone else involved, like other people, I like to be a bit more mindful. Like I'm not necessarily like just throwing it out there just like that. And so a lot of things that I don't say on this channel is usually just because I'm respecting someone else's privacy. And I think that's important because like I made a decision to do YouTube videos, and whether or not, first of all, I want to just say I'm so grateful for all the subscribers that I have. I think I'm at 150 at this point, and it's just mind blowing to me that 150 people want to like get notifications for my channel. And maybe this is me thinking too deeply into it because I'm very like intentional with the people that I'm subscribing to. Since I started using this account, I became very, very intentional about the people that I'm subscribing to. And so for me to see 150 people care about this girl over here is just a bit crazy. It's a bit mad to me, honestly speaking. And of course, like it's not like, if you look at my views are not always like that high. They're not always like 100 or anything like that. But even like those 20 people who are always watching my videos, it's insane to me to think that like at least 20 people care about what I'm saying. Even like 10 people, like that, it's crazy. I think it's mad because I feel like for the longest time I haven't known what I wanted to do in my life, like career-wise or anything like that. And I'm not about to be like, oh no, YouTube is gonna be my career, because who knows how it's gonna go. This could be a very big flop. But like, I have not always known what I wanted to do in my life. I've always been okay with living like a gray area, sort of. and not gray in the sense of like I'm not doing anything, but just in the sense of like I'm ready to bounce back and forth from place to place doing this and that and blah blah blah. Like I've always been fine with that idea. But and I think now as I think about it, and I keep telling myself this, or like this is a recurring thought basically. I did not know what I wanted to do because I think the kind of career that I want did not exist. Like, it's not something that I thought was possible. You know, like that's the thing with it. For me, I've always been the kind of person who loves to share. I love talking. Anyone in my family knows. All my friends. I'm sorry. All my friends. Everyone around me knows. The one thing that I love to do is to talk. Like I enjoy talking, and it's not because I like to hear the sound of my voice, because I know that some people who are like that. Like they just love to hear the sound of their voice, but it's not that. I actually like to share the knowledge that I have. I like to share any information that I feel is going to be helpful to anyone. Like I've just always been that kind of person. Like I'm always telling my friends, and I was having a conversation with another friend another day actually about this, and I sort of got her onto listening to Taylor Swift, and I got her onto watching Grey's Anatomy, and I was telling her like, and did I tell her or was I just thinking it? I just said like my point here is I love to share what I feel is good. You know what I'm saying? Like if I notice that something is working well, I love to share it. Like I like to say, I was watching this show and it was so enlightening to me. And for me, I like to like go deeper into it, and maybe I'll even start talking about like series that I'm watching and just the kind of thoughts that they make me think about and the kind of patterns that I see in them and stuff like that. But not in a sense of like I want to be like, don't watch this series or watch this series. It's just more like this is what it made me think about, and like I would like to hear your thoughts as well. So that's the kind of person that I've always been. I've always wanted to like share things that work for me and things like that. And the more I grew up, the more I realized that like something that I think is so important and something that I really want to do is be like a mentor or a counselor, or just that kind of person who like helps people through life. Like of course when I'm more experienced. At this point I'm not that experienced. I'm not even gonna sit here and say that I'm experienced and I know things. I'm just gonna say that like I think I've gone through a couple of things that like my knowledge that I can help someone, in that sense. So I've always been that kind of person who wants to share, and because of that, I was like, okay, fine, and who wants to help people? And so initially, my plan was to be a lawyer, right? I wanted to do law, and I feel like this is one of those things that could be embarrassing, but it's fine. But like, I wanted to do law. And it's not even that like this was like a lifelong dream or anything like that. It's just that the only people that I knew who were helping people, or like because I was also like an activist. Oh my gosh, I was so passionate about stuff. Anyway, so because I was so passionate and like I just wanted justice and all that stuff, I was like, what better career to go into than law, right? That was like my initial thought. That was the first thing I wanted to do. And then so we did KCSE, and of course this decision was made after we did KCSE, because when I was in high school, all I was trying to do is get through, because my grades were so bad. And so I honestly, it's a wonder that I made it to university. Like anybody that knew me in high school knows that it is a wonder that I made it to university, and we thank God and we're grateful. But now after high school, when I thought about law, I started checking into it, and my grades came out and I did well, and much better than I expected, honestly. And that's not to say that I did like I was an A student, but bro, I did well. So anyway, now checking it through, there was a grade that I did not like. I didn't meet the criteria to do law, and so that was very frustrating. I was like, okay, that was the only thing I had thought about. And anyone that knows me knows I've been doing music for the longest time, so that was another option. But the only like good music university in Kenya is a public uni, and if you know public universities in Kenya, you might be in school for about 10 years. And at that time, I was just like, nah, that's not something I want to do. That's not like anything I want to do. Also, it's very far away from home. And in high school, I went to a school that was not very close to home. So I sort of had already made up my mind that I'm not in the business of going to a school that's going to be very far away from home, just because that was very, very stressful. And I just didn't want to go through that again. So even making that decision, I was like, okay, fine, blah blah blah. So I went to Strathmore. And that's a university that I'm in now. And I went there, and when I went to the career office, no, to like the admissions, and it was sort of like I was trying to get career like advice and stuff like that. And a really nice gentleman talked to me, and he was like, you know, law is a good profession, and it's very prestigious. But if you think about it, if we take this person who did like a course like BCom, let's say, you could do BCom, you could finish your 4 years and get to working immediately, and in 10 years you'll have worked up the ranks and be earning this amount, or like reached this part in your career. Whereas if you do law, then you're gonna have this 4 years of uni, another 2 years of like law school, and then I guess like a pupillage, a third year, and then that's when you're beginning. So that's like 7 years in, that's when you're starting. Whereas if you did another course, then you would be beginning in like 4 years, you know. So then he told me that, and I was like, okay, that's something to think about. So when it came down to making decisions, I was like, I know for sure I don't want to do a business course, and I didn't want to do a course that was heavy on math. As much as I did well in math in high school, that just wasn't where my life was going to go. Honestly, like math was so hard, and I don't know. You know, you don't pick the hard things. That's the thing. Like for something that you're gonna do for the rest of your life, I was like, I'm not gonna be out here trying to do something that's a huge stretch for me. So I decided to pick a humanity, and the initial thought was that I was gonna do journalism. That's what I was gonna do. So when I went in, it was like either international studies or journalism. And I don't know, somehow I found myself doing international studies, and I'm really enjoying it. Don't get me wrong, I'm genuinely enjoying it. But I keep thinking back to how my initial like plan was to do international study. I mean, was to do journalism, and I didn't. And now here I am, literally like having a YouTube channel, and everyone telling me that I think your future is in the media. And I'm like, I know, and I know like 3 years ago that was a thought, and I don't know why I didn't go in that direction, but it's fine. You know, like it doesn't have to be a jack of all trades, because I really genuinely enjoy my course. I think my course opened up my mind to so many things, and I intend on doing an entire like recap. I mean, not recap, but like an entire like what's my course, like what is international studies, what are the units involved, what do you need to know when you're making the decision, um, and things like that. And anyway, yeah, so that was how I ended up at international studies. Honestly, I don't even know how I came. And as you can tell, I like, this is me in my natural element. Like my brain shifts from one thing to another really really fast, and then I forget the actual point. But um yeah, so because I always felt like I was too much, I was so scared of sharing. And anyone that knows me even from high school knows I didn't have any interest in social media whatsoever. Like I had no interest in posting any pictures, sharing my life. I had no interest in like having, you know, a lot of followers. Like I had absolutely like, that is not those like, that wasn't something that I cared about so much. And then when I actually like came when I started taking my faith very very seriously, like much more seriously than I did before, I realized that like this was something that had been in my heart for such a long time. Like I wanted to do this for so long, and I've been watching YouTube since 2018. I don't even know if this foundation is over. I think it's over. So I'm out here really trying to remove something that's not even there. Anyway, yeah, in 2018 is when I started watching YouTube videos, and I remember looking at these people and just being like, wow. And I'm the kind of person who loves discovering new people. So like I always like to, oh, that was a bad. I always like to see new people, see the kind of stuff that they're doing, blah blah blah. Like I just like that whole idea. Anyway, so I started watching YouTube in 2018, and then I started one YouTube channel for like singing then, and singing was such a big part of my life then. But I always felt like I wanted to do more, and I talk about this in my video where I like sort of like encouraging anyone to start whatever it is that they want to start, and I'm gonna link that up here so that you can watch that as well. But like I basically see that there's so much, like I had so much more to offer, and it's not to say that music is not sufficient enough, because people use music all the time to send messages and that's how I like, and that's why I like listening to music, because it always like captures how I feel. I just feel like I've never maybe bothered to cultivate that like intensely in myself, even though I've had a lot of like music lessons. Literally, I've been doing music since I was maybe 4 years old, if I'm being honest. So it's like I've had a lot of like music lessons and stuff like that. But I don't know, for some reason I've never actually like built that. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway, so yeah, I felt like my career of choice did not exist. And now all I know is like I want to be the kind of person who gives advice about the things that I know, because I can't claim to know what I actually don't know, if we're being honest. So I love to give advice for the things that I know. So if there's something that I know, and I will always be like, this is what I found out. And that's something that I had forgotten in the past month. So then when I was getting to the point of like even planning my videos, of course I was planning to do the book Re-Loving Dating. That's one that I'm doing, the chapter review. I really love it. I also want to expand and do other books. I think it's going to be so nice. But I also may not do a chapter review. I may do just like the whole book review. So it's going to be one long video about the entire book, but it depends on the content of the book. Anyway, yeah, so that's something that I've been doing, and also song inspirations. And as much as I was doing that, I just kept feeling like I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like this is not feeling like something that I was enjoying before. And so something that I had to do was take a step back and sort of like remember. My house is quite noisy this morning, and this is the morning that I felt inspired to do this video. So it works just as well. Anyway, so yeah, honestly, I can't even remember what I was talking about. I've gone in different directions. But yeah, so as I was trying to figure out like where am I going with this channel, what am I doing, blah blah blah, I had to take a step back and I had to go back to my devotions, because as I mentioned before, I've mentioned in another video that I mentioned in another video that I had been struggling to do my devotions as well. And so that's something that I had to like, and it's not that I wasn't doing them completely, it was that I wasn't like, my heart was not the way I felt it should have been. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a way my heart is when I'm doing devotions, and there's a way I was feeling then that was not the same. And I knew that like unless I fixed that, I was not going to be able to like what is it called? I wasn't gonna be able to do my YouTube channel the way I want to, because it would always feel like forced. Because the thing is that my point is, my source of strength for this YouTube channel and my source of inspiration is literally like God. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm not going to sit here and say like I'm the most creative human being in the world or anything like that. I think God has played such a huge role in this YouTube channel that when I'm not right with God, this YouTube channel cannot continue. You see, that's the thing. So it's like I have to be right with God for me to be able to do this. And the thing is that this is something that I genuinely enjoy. And so because I genuinely enjoy it, I'm not going to be like, let me just give up. I'm going to try and make it work. I'm going to find a way for it to work. And so, and I think that just goes in line with like the idea of me wanting to share like faith with people. I think for me, I've lived my life very differently from the average person. Like anyone that knows me knows like my life has been so different. Like all my friends even know, like it's been a different life that I've lived. It's not a secret really. But I've always wanted to share this kind of life and this perspective to life, because I think there's a lot of what is seen in the world, and it's not bad or good. I'm not here to be like, that's the wrong way to live, or you need to follow me the way I'm living, blah blah blah. It's more like for me to show that there's a different way to live. Like, because I think for so long we've been put in this box where it's like we have to live a certain way, we have to do things a certain way, we have to date a million people in order to find the person that like we're going to spend the rest of our lives with. Whereas like I'm going for matching, we have to like just all those things. So, and I've always wanted to share my perspective on it, but then again I haven't always understood my perspective on it. So as soon as I did, I was like, this is something that I would like to share with people. Also, by the way, as you watch me do my makeup, as in, I know I'm not like a makeup guru, I know it all looks all over the place currently, but it all comes like it all ends up looking really, really nice in the end, if I'm being honest. So anyway, yeah, that's my point is like I've always wanted to share, and that's basically what I'm doing here. And there's so many things that I'm yet to share about, like things that are currently happening in my life, but those are things that also involve other people. But more than that, I think they would be better suited, I don't know, in a different way. So I'm always praying about like how can I share this certain topic. There's some topics that are just like normal. Like I'm gonna do a Bible plan and I'll be like, okay, fine, let me share that. But when it comes to things with like the Unification Church, I think for me, I feel as if I have to, like, there's a lot more like that I need to put into it for me to be able to just, I don't know, share properly, for the message to come across properly. I don't know, but like it's just a different perspective, and that's something that I love to share, because for myself, as I've grown up, I have been looking for role models who are unificationists, who have blessed children, who know about the unification way of life. Like that's what I've been looking for. I've been craving it so badly in my life. And I realized that like if I want it so badly, then there's so many other people who need it. And why not just try to be that person? And it's not even that like I think I'm qualified. I think that like I've lived this perfect life. Oh, I have not. And there's so many things that I haven't shared, of course, because of course I also don't want to own business everywhere, for everyone to know. But like for sure, the reason why I want to share this unification way of life is because I think it's something that young unificationists are missing in their life. And I think something that would have helped me so much when I was 15 years old, or even like 13, and going through the awkward puberty stage. I think it would have been nice to see somebody who has gone through the exact same thing that I have and has made it on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not even to say that like I made it spick and span, like I'm the most clean person or anything like that. And I feel like also when I say it like that, then it sounds like I have been, messing in life, but I haven't really. It's just that, you know, there's some things that I would have done differently had I had like a good example. And it's because we get our information from the world and we get our information from movies. And I think that's another thing with movies. Oh my gosh, I have so much to say about it. I have even the shows that I really, really love. Like I can see some agendas that they're trying to push. And these days, a show has to be pushing an agenda for it to be deemed a good show or something like that. And I mean, I think there's just so much that I can say about that, and it's a whole other video. But yeah, that's basically how it's been, like me trying to figure that out. And I'm so grateful that I like managed to get back to my devotion. And I'm trying to figure out ways in which I will not be falling off the way I did. I think to my credit, because I don't want to always be beating myself up. To my credit, I have I find that I'm so much better than I was last year. Like the way my faith is and just how I am currently, I am so different from how I was last year. Like even if you can't see it externally, internally in my heart, I can see such a huge difference in my life, and I'm so grateful for it. I think like God has really been working overtime on me, honestly speaking, and I'm just grateful about that. And of course, I've also been working, because we know God doesn't have complete predestination. If you've read the divine principle, then you know God doesn't have complete predestination. We have a portion of responsibility, and I've definitely like been putting in that work, because my ultimate goal has been to like understand God's heart, to be able to be the kind of person who can like to like transmit it to other people. Like that's something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm so grateful that now I'm in a place where I can do that. Like I am confident enough. But I also mentioned in another video that like sometimes your fear of God becomes way more than your fear.
But I'm not going out without a fight. Remember when the silence grew so big it pushed a hole straight through the sky? The ground beneath us caved in every time. So God, hear you cry. All our cowards curling up in smoke like a flame into the night. We didn't mean the stuff we said in bed that broke the lie. I'm unbelieved again that I haven't seen you too. Oh, might be lost, but I'm not going out without a fight. I'd love to see you smile again. Watch your eyes light up the room. Feel the sunny days caress our skin when we begin to foam. All the white noise fading out to the void of everything we've done. We always make mistakes, but round up just where we began. I might be lost again, but I haven't seen you too.
Yeah, and I also noticed that like I'm a much happier person when I am like good with God. It's very, very interesting. I really, really I love that fact. That's one of the things that I actually really, really enjoy. Is like I'm so happy once I do like a devotion, and I'm gonna do an entire video where like I explain what what makes me feel better, like the kind of things that like fill my cup or like just put me in a good mood, and things that I sort of use as like self-care, almost like, yeah, I want to do like a self-care type video. And I guess when I'm more experienced in editing and shooting and all that stuff, I'll do like an actual like morning routine, evening routine, self-care routine kind of thing. But for now, I think I'll just give you a play-by-play in that video. It's gonna come out a few weeks later, a few weeks from now. And that's another thing I want to talk about. Like, I have videos planned. My only issue is like I keep getting a new idea and I keep wondering, should I do this new idea now or should I do it like later? You know what I'm saying? Like when I plan out content, right? Should I do it now because now is when I feel inspired to do it? Or should I just plan to do it in like May because my content for April is basically already planned out? You know what I'm saying? Like that's also something that I've been dealing. I think the beauty of it is I don't have to do things like a certain way. I can always change it up. I can always do anything that I want to do. It's just the most freeing thing, and that's why I like it so much. It gives me so much room to be creative. The video that I have been planning to do is just not working out, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to do it, just like to do it, or if I am going to just reevaluate that and remove it completely. And that's another thing that like I was thinking about, like when you're trying so hard to do something and you feel like there's so many roadblocks in your way, just like reaching a point of trying to decide whether like whether this is a message from like the spiritual for me not to do it, or whether this is like Satan blocking me. You know, like it's such a weird balance, like to try and figure out what to do, like whether I'm supposed to go ahead with it and like push through, or whether I should just be like, okay, fine, I've tried and it's not working, and that's about it. Also, this is the first time that I'm doing my hair on this whatever. I'm just gonna undo them because they've been in for a while, and so usually I'll leave them in. But this is also part of like my self care. I'm also trying to like take care of my hair so much better than I did last year. Last year I did not take care of my hair the way I should have, honestly, but it grew significantly by just being let go like that. But I think I just want it to be healthier, and I don't know. Anyway, so to undo these things, I'm going to use this castor oil. I've had it for like 2 years at this point. I haven't been using it that much, honestly, but it's because, let me tell you, castor oil is so expensive, so you have to like be very careful with how you use it, because it's okay, like it's quite pricey, honestly, so I can't be buying it every other day. Also, I haven't bought like actual hair stuff in such a long time, and there's no reason for that. But anyway, so I'm gonna undo my hair basically while I'm on camera for the first time. It's the first time I'm doing natural hair content, guys. I'm growing, but I also realize that this is gonna take a lot of editing. It's gonna be fun. Anyway, yeah, so let me know how you usually like discern what is like a message from the spirituals, like as a like, don't do this, and how you know to keep pushing in order for it to work out. Because I feel like sometimes it's not worth it, like all the stuff that I'm doing, like it's not like for lack of content that I want to do this video. I just think this video is such a beautiful one, but maybe that's not what God is trying for me to do in my YouTube right now. So that's the thing, it's like trying to discern between like messages like that and being like, let me just push through, because I know this is the enemy trying to stop this very beautiful message from coming out. I don't know. It's very interesting. this is like the final look, and I know you're wondering, where is this girl going and why is she trying to look so good yet Kenya is like on lockdown? It's Sunday, it's service, I just want to, I mean, the intention was not necessarily to look nice for Sunday service, but it was basically like, why not look nice for Sunday service today? You know what I'm saying? Because these days we don't really have many reasons to look good, and so I'll take all the reasons that I can get. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.